Hey, good evening, folks, and welcome to the Let's Go Fishing show. My guest tonight is Fletcher Bean. Fletcher, good to have you, man.
Good to be here.
All right. Now, Fletcher is a lieutenant in the Medford Volunteer Fire Department, and he's one going to be orchestrating this fundraising tournament they're going to have on Norris, and I'm going to come back and we get through here in a little bit. Let Fletcher tell us all about his tournament.
Sounds good.
All right. He's all fired up, and I am too. They got a good, worthy cause there, folks, and hopefully get a big turnout, raise some money, and he can tell you what the money's for and all that good stuff and that kind of thing. Want to say hello to my dad. Want to say hello to Bill and Polly and their daughter, Gay. Appreciate them watching the show, and I've got some fishing film tonight. Bill and I made a couple of trips to Norris, and we're really disappointed. We caught a few fish, but we never got on them to mount to anything, and we're not going to give up, are we, Bill? We're going to keep going back. So we're going to do that, and also we'll discuss with Fletcher what's going on with his tournament, and then what Bill and I caught, which you'll be able to see what we caught a fish on. It wasn't nothing special. We were throwing Carolina rigs and with brush hogs, lizards, and a little bit of everything. So we'll show that in the film here in a little bit. And then after we get through doing all this, Fletcher and I, he was sharing a story with me there about his new bait caster that he bought, and he couldn't get the drag set right. And that just fell in line with what I brought over. I've got a couple of reels here. They're identical. And we may tear one of them apart here in a few minutes and talk about that drag system.
That sounds good.
There's a lot of things on the fishing reel, and that's the most important thing. And I want to try to get in. And the reason being, I picked one of mine up last weekend that I hadn't fished with in 2 or 3 months, I guess. And I went to pull the line off and it was stuck. I said, "What in the devil?" So we'll give you all a good tip on that, and got some good announcements to make here and that kind of thing. So, but we're going to go to some of the fishing film, and I'm going to start tearing one of these reels apart and getting ready. All right, Herschel, let's see the film. I'm up here on North. Got Bill Nichols with me, and Bill's going to take me out here and show me how to catch these fish. A little windy, clouds moving out. We're going to try them here in a little while and see how we do. So stand by, and hopefully we can find something. All right, folks, Bill's got our first fish here. Says a little old small now. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, boy. Man.
He thinks he's a 4-pounder though, the way he fights.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We got to catch them little ones too, Bill. Oh yeah, man, they're spunky.
Come here, boy. I was had to tell Steve there. I've been fishing this thing, little old grub here for many years. It's the sucker I've ever seen. They don't make it no more. Every time they make something good, they quit.
That's exactly right, Bill. Exactly right. All right, folks. Bill's got another fish on here.
This is a nice one. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a good fish. We just don't know what kind it is.
I don't know why it's not coming up.
Huh.
Look at that. He's what we're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look at him down there.
Yeah, boy. I see him down there. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Get out, bro. Get out.
Uh-huh.
Got my little, oh, look at it, man.
Yeah, boy. Oh, man, that clear water makes it nice to get a pretty picture of him, I'll tell you that. Sure does.
I don't know whether I can reach down there.
I'll get him. Hold on just a second.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
get him.
afraid that 6-pound test 9 might not
No.
that.
Oh, Bill's
Like I said to Steve, when they make something good,
Yes, sir.
they quit.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Oh, I love to catch them little things.
Yes, sir.
They put up a fight.
Yeah, boy, that's good,
All
Bill.
right, go boy.
All right, yeah. Oh, yeah, Bill. Oh, I
Big
see.
old drum,
Big
bro.
old drum, ain't it? Yes, sir.
Big drum.
That's all right.
Yeah, well, they supposed to be one of them smallmouths are too.
That's exactly right, old boy. Bill's got a lot, huh?
Got
That
a
bang,
black
what a
nose
big old
What
crappie,
about
Bill.
that?
Boy, that's a nice one, too.
Yeah, that's a nice black nose crappie.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sirree.
Oh, man, I wish you'd have caught us about 20 of them today, Bill.
If we had time, we'd just catch this big mess of them.
Yeah, boy, I reckon. All right. Man, that's a nice one.
All right, folks, there was part of the fishing trip Bill and I made, and you know, as you can see, we didn't do very well there, and kind of shocked Fletcher how clear that water is. I don't know what it's doing down where you're fishing, but up there in the sea, it's pretty clear.
That's about the way it is.
Yeah. So we got into some things, you know, on that deal, and we didn't find out anything, and so we went back Thursday, and or that was Thursday, and we went back Sunday afternoon and thought we'd catch them, and I think we caught 6 or 7, but we didn't do near what we wanted to as far as that goes. So we'll. Are you ready to show that other film, Herschel? All right. Show the rest of the film, then we'll get that behind us.
All right, folks. Bill and I are back up here on Norris, and he's got the first little fish here on the rig, and we're just hunting for some bigger ones.
I didn't give Steve time to really get the camera while he's in the water.
Yeah, that's all
I
right.
had him a-coming.
That's all right, Billy.
He's what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, they need me taking that off.
Folks, old Bill's got one on the back deck back here flopping around. Another largemouth, ain't it, Bill? All right.
He almost got back the water on us, Steve.
He almost did. All right, we've got him. That's good, Bill.
That's right, old buddy.
Bill's got another fish on here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, boy. Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah. All right. Daggone, Bill. Is that a Kentuck? No, that's a largemouth.
That's a largemouth.
That's a largemouth.
Yes, sir.
Sure is.
The old lizard.
Yeah. Has he got her swallowed, Bill? Has he got it swallowed? Swallowed that lizard, didn't he? All right, folks, that dang Bill's got another one on here. Yeah. A little bigger this time, Bill. You getting up there now. Oh, yeah.
Come on up there. Get out front of the boat.
Yeah, boy. Yes, sir.
Nice little largemouth.
Yeah. Boy, they look good in that clear water, don't they, Bill?
He goes up.
All right.
Yes, sir. That's what we're looking for there, son.
Yeah, buddy.
Look at that right there. That's
Yeah,
what
boy.
we're looking for.
All right. What does that make? 4 already?
That
4?
make 4 already, son. Yes,
Oh.
sir.
Okay, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, Bill's got another fish on here. I don't know where. Does he? Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy. Yes, sir.
Cracker Jack.
Yeah, boy.
Boy, he works in that clear water.
Buddy, he is, Bill. He sure is. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got it, Bill. That's gummit. Well, all right. That's the number.
All right, son.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I got him now, Steve.
Well, I think he got your bait too, Bill.
He done took the lizard away from
Yeah, took the lizard away from you. All right, son, that's a nice one. All right.
5, son.
That's 5 already.
5 and a counting.
All righty, bud. All right, folks. Bill's got another fish on here.
Sir, pretty nice one.
We'll see.
Look here.
What in the world have we got there, Bill?
We got a big old bluegill.
Big old bluegill.
Big old bluegill.
Yeah, buddy.
Son, I'm gonna tell you right now. There's a whole lot of people like to catch them. I wouldn't mind catching them to eat myself.
Yeah, I heard that, buddy. That's a nice one. All right. All right, folks. Bill's got another fish on here, Bill.
I believe he's a dandy, son. If I can just get him in.
All right.
He's already worn out.
Yeah, boy.
You only want to come to the top.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Down there in that clear water.
Oh, yeah. I see him down there now. That's a smallie, ain't
Look here. Here
it? Yeah. All right. Yeah, boy. Yeah. That's,
See, that's the first smallmouth today.
yeah, it is. Sure is, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, boy. All right.
That is a
Buddy.
nice one, son.
Yes, sir.
Anytime you catch one like that,
It
it's
right
a
there.
nice one.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
That is a good one. All right,
I tell
Bill.
you what now, folks, that little brush hog, I said all the time, it's going to pay off here before long, and it just paid off. He took my bait and all.
Wasn't no way he could keep from it.
I got to have him pliers.
All right.
I got him right, Steve,
Yeah,
buddy.
boy.
And he pretty.
Yeah, buddy. Sure is,
sir.
Bill. That's a good one.
Yes, sir, buddy.
All right. Well, that fish don't show no signs of fanning the nest or nothing, does
No,
it? Ah,
It is a female, though.
yeah.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
All right, Steve, little boy.
All right, folks, we're back, and Fletcher, he and I watching this film here, and you know, we caught some largemouth there, Fletcher.
Yeah.
And that's kind of your thing right now, ain't it?
It has been.
Has been. Fletcher's been fishing the. Who's put that tournament on? It's on Tuesday night, or no? It's on Thursday night. It's tonight. So he's missing out on a tournament to be with us, folks. So we won't hold that against him. But the fishing trip Bill and I had there, you know, like I said, we throwed some Cincos and crankbaits, and there on Thursday last week before the show, and then we went back and there Sunday afternoon and throwed some Carolina rigs with brush hogs, lizards. We wasn't throwing the right thing, or we'd caught a lot more fish.
I don't know, them brush hogs working awful good.
Yeah, they definitely are good bait. They are working. Bill, and I'll tell you folks, what the deal was there. That water temperature got up to 66 degrees there Sunday afternoon. And it's 78 degrees on Watts Bar. Mike, what'd you all find down there Sunday? Yeah, the Mike's over here with us. He's sitting in the wings over here, and I gave him and Brad the camera and to get me some film, and Dad blamed they didn't catch anything. So, yeah, wasn't supposed to mention that, he said. But anyway, what was the water temperature down there, Mike? 74. And I know last week during those rainy days there, it was 76, 77 up in Little Emery. So no telling what it is now. So, but anyway, the water temperature down there in Watts Bar, and the fish are on the bed. And the ones that ain't on the bed will be here next week, Fletcher, when that moon gets full. You agree with that?
Yep.
They definitely are. Their tails are bloody, and so they're getting ready to spawn, and it's hard to get a bite on Watts Bar right now. So we figured, Bill and I did, we'd do a little better on Norris, and still think we're going to come up with some. I'm going to let Fletcher tell us about his tournament, and then we're going to tear this fishing reel apart, and I hope we can put it back together.
I hear you.
So we're going to get to this drag system on this bait caster, and I'll show you what I run into at the house there the other day. So Fletcher, let me get the flyer out here so that I don't make a mistake. I know you've got it memorized.
I don't know if I do or not.
All right. There's you one, and I've got one. So let's start from the beginning here and tell us, go over where it's going to be, what time it's going to start, and all that good stuff.
It's going to be at the free launch there at Oak Grove off of 441, right down from Mountain Lake Marina. We're going to start at 6, and we're going to try to have everything signed up, ready to go at safe light. The entry fees is going to be $50, and then the lunker is going to be $10. And we're hoping that, you know, we have a great turnout because it's going to be for the fire department. We've got a new truck coming. I believe it's going to be next year in 2015. And we've already double parked in our bay, so we're trying to add on 3 bays wide.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what all the money's going to help for the building and what other odds and ends we need.
All right. Now, tell me about this. Now, folks, this is something to think about. You know, you can't just go out there and pour any kind of concrete for this fire engine, right?
No, it's got to be 6 inches deep. I think our best estimate right now is going to be, we're looking at $10,000 just for concrete.
Just for concrete alone.
And the building's right at 20 just for the building, and that's us doing all the work and putting it up.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you all have been saving money and collecting money and that kind of thing. So this could be a big thing to get you over the top, man. I guess.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. And
yeah.
all the money that's all the prize money for the tournament has all been donated throughout the community. Mm-hmm. None of it's coming from the fire department, and everything we make off the tournament's going 100% to the fire department.
All right, folks. There you go. And if you want to help a good cause, that sounds like a good one. You hope you never need these guys. You know, I was going to have Fletcher bring his fire jacket and that kind of stuff because that's expensive stuff too. But
I just got a brand new set. It's right at a little bit over $2,000 for a complete set.
Is that right? Man alive. So, like we said, you hope you never need them.
Yep.
But it's good to have them when you do. That's a fact. Okay, I see some. Let's go into the prizes. Now, we got the time. Wait a minute. One thing we forgot. Give us that pre-registration available there.
Yeah, the pre-registration is going to be May the 16th, the Friday night before, at Rocky Top Outdoors. And he's new to the area, but he's up off of Highway 116 right out of Lake City. And he's been a big help for our tournament. You know, he's been pulling a lot of strings and trying to get stuff turned around for us. And we're going to do the pre-registration at his store from 6 to 8. Mm-hmm. Kind of get, the fishermen that don't know about him, try to get them in up there and let them see what he's got because he carries a lot of good stuff. So,
yeah, all right. Now, what kind of prizes you going to be giving away there?
Right now, for first place, we had $500 donated, mm-hmm. and then on the lunker fish, Edgemore Outdoors, he donated a Quantum EZO PT baitcaster reel. And it's valued at $250.
Dude, that's a good big fish pot right there.
Yeah, so we appreciate him over at Edgemore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see you got some special thanks to some other sponsors down there. Go ahead and tell us them.
Yeah, Mike Farley, he donated cash money, and then Rocky Top Outdoors, Northcraft Boats, they donated. Advanced Auto Parts in Lake City. Sportsman's Choice is in Halls. He donated. And then Edgemore Outdoors and Lyle Watts, all that swim taxidermist, he's in Harriman. He donated a free mount.
No kidding. Nice Lyle Watts there. It sure was. Okay. Go ahead and give us your phone number.
My phone number for more information about the tournament is area code 423-912-6367.
Okay, 423-912-6367. Now, could they call the fire department and get a hold of you or leave some information or something like that if they need to, or you had not rather do that?
Yeah, because the fire department's all volunteer. And
nobody there to man the phone.
We're hardly ever there.
All right, okay, that sounds good. That's like calling 911 to report a cat in the tree or something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Don't want to tie up the phone unless it's emergency for sure. And folks, the time on that's May the 17th, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the entry fee's $50, lunker optional $10. Can pre-register at Rocky Top Outdoors 6 to 8 p.m. on the 16th. So if you've got nothing to do and want to fish a good tournament, the money's going to help a good cause. That'd be a good thing to do.
That's right.
Get over there and help these guys out for sure. All right, that sounds like a good deal, and we hope you get your building built and get your new truck in, and you know, I hope you never have to use it.
Yeah.
Except for practice. Except for practice, for sure. Because when that thing rolls out, that means something bad's going on.
I mean, something or somebody needs it.
Yeah, exactly right. Okay, now, Fletcher, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on, and I hope Herschel and them can zoom in here a little bit, and we're gonna talk just a little bit about this fishing reel business, and I'll tell you what I run into. Now, folks, they call this a star drag. I don't know if we can see that or not, but it's got 5 little arms on it, and it controls the pressure on this clutch in this reel. You think, well, what's a fishing reel doing with the clutch? I'm going to show you here in a few minutes just exactly what the deal is there. There's 2 discs in under here that thing presses on and causes the spool to be loose. Now, see, you can pull that line off of there like that right there, and that's just about too tight. So when you loosen this mechanism here up, then it gets real easy to pull off. I mean, it just, you know, and sometimes it'll get so loose that it won't even wind the line back on the reel. But what happens, and here's where we mess up, folks. In the wintertime, or when you're not using these reels, if you've got them standing up in a fish rack or something, back this off and pull out just a little bit of line to make sure that it's real loose, because there's compression washers, a Teflon disc, a fiber disc, and when you keep that thing compressed all the time, and it does get a little dirty in there, then whenever you need it or need to adjust it, you can't adjust it. It's stuck down. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like putting the lid on a bottle and shaking it up, and then whenever you loosen it up, you know, it fizzes out. But if it stays tight all the time, it just compresses down and it can't escape. And well, these washers and stuff in here do the same thing. So back those things off. If you're going to store that thing for several months or a few weeks, you ought to back this thing off, let everything relax, and then whenever you get to the lake, just snug it down like that, pull it off. And the way I like to do it, if it's stretching the line, that's plenty tight enough. If you need to, go to a heavier line. But if you get that too tight, when the fish tries to run with it, then he's going to break your line, especially on a bait caster, because you can't backwind these things. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just won't do it. They've got a backlash or a reverse bearing in there, and it won't backwind. So the only way to give him line is smash the button. Well, you better have your thumb on the spool, is all I can tell you, or you're going to have a mess. But if you'll take care of that drag system, it will take care of you. And I like to fish mine, you know, depending on what I'm fishing, I fish it real loose. Now, if I'm fishing a jig or a spinnerbait or something that I want to, I don't want any give, you know, in it. When I set the hook, plastic worm type situation, I keep it pretty snug. But anything else, like a crankbait or something, I want that thing to be, you know, just real easy to pull off of there, you know, so that just enough to when it feel like that line's stretching. When you pull that off there, I like it about like that right there. Like I said, except when on a crankbait or a jerkbait or something like that. when I'm throwing an 8-10 pound test line on these things up to a 12, and then after that I tighten her up pretty good. Now we've looked at the reel, or the outside of the reel. Now we're going to pull this thing apart here, and I've already got it loosened up a little bit. I've got the handle off of it and the star drag off, and this right here is a good way for you to clean and oil up these reels, you know, and grease them up. There's some things in here that need grease, and there's some things in here that needs a little drop of oil. So when you're taking this thing apart, if you've never done this before, kind of lay it out just like it comes off the reel. You know, if a screw's in the bottom, put it down here on the bottom. If it's in the top, put it up at the top. If it's in the front, put it out in the front. Because you want to put this thing back together just like it come apart. Because if you don't, you're in trouble. And there is some parts manuals and stuff that comes with a lot of these reels, and you want to hold on to them. And you want to be careful, you know, when you're taking this thing apart, because there'll be springs and washers and all this kind of stuff just pop out everywhere, and you say, uh-oh, where did that go? So right there is that part of it. I'm going to lay that right there. Now right here is what I was talking about, folks. And under this gear right here, and I'm going to get grease all over me, which is all right. I'm going to pull this gear off right here. It should come right off, like so. There was one piece that I want off there. Let me get this off. Come on. I know there's little shims and washers and stuff in this thing, Fletcher, that you got to be careful with, or you'll have a mess. But I want this one part right here off of there so that I can show you the drag system on this reel and why you want to take care of it. All right, here we go. Now this is the plate that does the mashing on the drag disc, and that's just a fiber washer. Well, that fits down in this gear, and when you tighten this star drag down, it compresses everything and puts tension on that thing right there to keep it from back winding. I mean, to keep, you know, tensions up your line from pulling off. The tighter you make it, the more pressure you got. Well, anyway, that all sets like that. And then here is the Teflon washer that's underneath, because when that spool is turning, this gear is turning. And the tighter you make your star drag, the more tension it's got, and the harder it is for it to turn. So you've got to kind of keep that stuff cleaned up. Well, what happened to me the other day was I picked this reel up, and I went to pull the line off of it, and man, it wouldn't budge. It was locked up. I thought, dadgone. So anyway, I tore it apart, and this fiber washer right here, and a lot of the other reels have got Teflon instead of the fiber, your more expensive reels. And that washer right there, all the dirt and crud that I'd let build up in that thing had it stuck, and it wouldn't free up. I mean, I was breaking, you know, pulling that line off so hard that it was embedding in itself on the spool, and you know, I've done everything but break the line on it. And I said, okay. So I said, I'm gonna tear it apart. Well, when I tore it apart, all that dirt and junk that was in here and under this thing had it locked up. And I had to take it apart, and when I done that, why, it freed right up, cleaned this gear up, and put everything back in place, and then it started working fine. So the tip of that is the thing to do is, like I said, when you're going to store your reels for a while, and you know, it wouldn't hurt if you done it every fishing trip. Mm-hmm. Just back it off a little bit. Just spin it around, you know. If you get it too loose, it won't even pick the line up when, you know, without a bait on it. It just won't turn the spool. So you just turn it just enough, tighten it up enough that it turns the spool, and then leave it that way. And then you've still got all that adjustment left in it when you get ready to use the thing. And it's a good rule of thumb when you get to the lake. And I have had this to happen several times. I fished one day, 2 days later, and back on the water. For some reason or another, my drag back gets backed off, and the first 2 or 3 casts, I get a bite, I set the hook, and it's just, it slips. There's nothing there, nothing to set the hook with. Well, how'd that happen? I'll say to myself. And but anyway, that does happen. Vibration or bumping it against something in the rod locker box or what have you. But if you could get into practice of backing those drags off, you save yourself a lot of headaches, a lot of trouble when you get there that your drag doesn't work, and then that way you always know that it's going to work pretty much whenever you take the tension off of it and then retension it each time you get on the water. And that's what you run into.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So you forget to check that drag, and that's something else you ought to do. And a spinning reel's the same way. It's just a different setup. If you've got a rear drag system or a spool drag system, loosen that thing up, and then you can always tighten it back down when you get to the lake and pull you off a little line. And I'll tell you another thing about a spinning reel. A lot of people will grab the line right here at the reel and pull it off. You might be a little bit too tight. Pull it off at the end of the rod. Reach up there, because that's where the fish is pulling on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ain't back here at the reel pulling on that line. He's out there off the rod, and that's another thing too. You always want to fish it off the rod, not the reel. Never let them pull straight off the reel, because it's usually going to be too tight. But check your drags, and I just wanted to. Now I hope I can get this back together before they lock the doors here tonight. But anyway, it was pretty simple to get apart. But if you've never tore one apart, kind of look over your parts book, give you a little bit of idea on what's going on there, and a toothbrush. Or something like this is a little old dual-purpose brush, bristles on, flat on just a regular brush on one end, and then the circle brush on the other end to get in there and do a little cleaning. And I took some. This thing was stuck, and it had a circle on the inside of the gear there, and I took a dang toothbrush and just a little bit of tooth polish. Shined it back up and put it all back together, and I was real tickled with how it turned out. So I just wanted to pass that along to the viewers, because that, like I said, that reel, I hadn't fished with that reel. The grandson usually fishes with that reel, and it'd been 2 or 3 months since he and I had been fishing due to school and work, and when I got it out of the box there the other day to use it, I said, uh-oh. I better put that in bag and get another one and do something like that, just because of that fact. I hope that helped you, and folks, and I may have to call somebody that knows what they're doing to put this thing back together.
I believe I would.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there was a lot of little gears and stuff there that I hope don't fall out, and shims and bushings and that kind of thing. So just remember that, folks. I hope that helped you, and that kind of thing. All right, we're going to get into a couple of announcements here and move right along with the show, because we're going to, about 6 more minutes, we're going to turn the phones on. Folks, remember the sponsors. You're seeing them there on the screen. Just can't thank them enough. And the way to do that is for you to go by and give them your business, and let them know you watching the Let's Go Fishing show, and thank them for their support. Next week, I've got me some notes here. It says reminders. Holly Davidson, the winner of the free fishing trip, and her husband Corey and their son Will be on the show here with me next week, and we'll Will's be involved in playing ball, and I told them to fit their schedule, so they're going to come over next week, and we'll get to see them and talk about the free fishing trip, Fletcher. So that'd be good to have them. And then the James Jenkins Memorial Tournament, which is, let's see, shucks, I don't know, 14 years, I guess, Mike. 14 years. Been doing the tournament, and we'll be at Ladd Landing on May the 24th. Now, there's a Heartland tournament there on May the 24th also, and we're going to have a dual weigh-in. Doug and I have talked, and they're going to they'll weigh the fish. You can sign up for one or both of the tournaments. We're going to start at the same time. We're going to quit at the same time. So we're going to, we done that. Had a little issue last year with getting the boat ramp, and so we're going to do the same thing this year. Combine the tournaments and have one weigh in and get the fish back in the water as quick as we can. So that'll be taking place at Safe Light to 3:30. I'll have some flyers up here next week. We'll be getting some out around some of the sponsors this coming week and get that going. Let's see. Mike Richards, your shirt is at the sign shop. When you pick up your cab for your engine, your shirt will be there. It's there now. So I don't know if they got your Evinrude decals on the cow for the motor or not, but they probably should have. And when you come by to pick that up, make sure you get your shirt. And appreciate you. Mike was graciously to donate money for the free fishing trip, and I can't thank him enough for that. So you'll get to see the winners there next week, Mike, sure. Let me see here. The Tim Irwin tournament last week on Fort Loudon. Brandon Coulter and his dad won that tournament. Jack Wade and I don't know who Jack was fishing with, but they came in second. I think about 19 pounds, maybe a little over. Brandon had 18 pounds, something maybe, second. On like that. So tough day. I don't know if you kept up with that or not, Fletcher, but you might have read about it. I haven't. I'm just going by what people's told me. I haven't looked at pulled it up on the internet or anything to check it out and see. But sounded like they had a pretty decent tournament. They always have a big turnout, and I never did hear how many boats they had. Mike, did you hear? Haven't heard? Okay, maybe somebody will call in here in a few minutes and let us know. We got all kinds of tournaments going on, folks. We got Fletcher's tournament going on here, and yours is the 17th, which is next Saturday.
Yep.
So your first one on the list. Now, there is several this weekend, so they'll be done. Everybody will be freed up for you.
Yep.
That's the way we want it, ain't it?
Yeah, we made it because that's usually when Northcraft done their cancer tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And they quit doing them, so that weekend was available, and that's why we grabbed it.
All right. That sounds like a plan. It's hard to get a big crowd when there's 2 or 3 going on right down the road.
Yep, that's true.
When there's not much going on, and that's the Heartland there, they usually about every other weekend, So that sounds like you're right on schedule right here to get this thing done. Sounds real good. But there's we got the Heartland tournament. Let me run through some of this stuff here. Coming up. That's this weekend. Your tournament's next weekend, and just on and on like that. There was a couple of things I wanted to, before I got into this tournament scheduling, remind you folks about, and that was the TWRA fisherman's input. If you want suggestions for them to change some rules or do something that you'd like to see done, don't forget to write that up and get it submitted to them. For sure, that's a that's a big thing. I keep talking about that, but anyway, they're wanting public input, and you know, if they're asking for it, if you've got something on your mind, you ought to give it to them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because they're not going to ask. You know, they don't ask for much. You know,
No.
they're always asking you for your license and fire extinguisher and where's your life jacket and you didn't have your running lights on and all that kind of stuff. So this way right here, we get to kind of send them a little bit back. And the Tennessee Sportsman's Association, don't forget that organization for sure. Jack Raines, and I need to talk to him. Jack, I hope you heard Mike say he had 10 more applicants ready to submit to you there last week, and so we don't want to forget that. Herschel, turn the phones on. Let's see how many calls Fletcher's going to get. All right, phones are on, ready to go. So we're waiting on the call. We need some good fishing reports now. Let's get to the fishing on some reports. Some people started back catching some crappie on Watts Bar. They kind of slacked off there a few weeks ago, but I heard 2 or 3 catches this past week. Some good crappie being caught, and then last Saturday we run into Dave Fulton and Mr. Sharp up there at the boat ramp. Bill and I did, and they said they'd caught 29 bass that day.
That was a heck of a day,
That
wasn't
was a heck of a day, yeah. Said they had 4 of them was smallmouth, the other 25 was largemouth. And so they had a heck of a day, sure did. And glad to see that. And so, you know, like I say, crappies biting and some bass being caught, and I'm hoping these fish will get off the bed down at Watts Bar so we can catch them down there. All right.
This key is programmed as a line key as displayed. Thank you. Goodbye.
Uh-oh. I bet I cut them off, didn't I? Okay. Hello, caller.
Yeah, this is Dave Fulton.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Well, I went today. Went
Uh-oh.
to Forest, and we got 17.
17.
Yeah.
Boy, Dave, that sounds good, buddy. It sounds real good. 29 one week and 17 today, Fletcher. What about it?
That's pretty good, ain't it?
That's pretty good. Yes, sir. Dave, you want to give us a little more insight on how you caught them?
Well, I got them on the Carolina rig.
On the Carolina rig.
With lizard, and now some of them been on the nest.
Mm-hmm.
Now the biggest one that got today was 4 pounds.
4 pounds. All right. Well, did you catch many smallmouth, Dave, or was it all large?
I caught a few. I caught a couple. I caught a couple smallmouth. The biggest one was 17.5 inches though.
Uh-huh.
And they was right on the bank.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was in 5 or 6 feet of water.
Shucks.
And we didn't get up there to the lake till about 11 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And I decided I just couldn't sit around the house, and I had to go, and I went.
I hear you there. That sounds good, Dave. I appreciate you calling in and letting us know that, and thanks a lot. Your buddy had a huge fish on a week or so ago, didn't he, Mr. Sharp?
He had grandma on. I'm telling you what's the truth. That's the biggest smallmouth, the largemouth that I've ever seen on Norris.
Is that right?
And he rolled it to the top of the water, and he shook its head, and that hook just flew out of it.
Oh, man. Well, so he didn't get a hold of big one today then, huh?
No, well, I went with another guy today.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
he wasn't, he's just trying to learn how to fish.
Uh-huh.
But he did catch 5, I think. Yeah, he caught 5.
That's good.
So.
Did you hear on the news there this week that they wasn't going to get Norris full?
Yeah, I read in the paper. They said, but it's only down 10 foot.
Uh-huh, yeah.
And they said Cherokee would be the same way, but it's not in bad shape. Well, we may raise a little this weekend, depending on how much rain we get again.
Mm-hmm. I agree. They say they may not get. That's a maybe. So we might get several inches of rain, and it be plumb in the woods.
Well, if they do, we can't hold it.
No, that's exactly right.
Well. All right, boys, I'll let you go.
Hey, appreciate you calling in, Dave. Thanks a bunch.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. See you. All right. That sounds like Dave's kind of got them figured out pretty good, and glad to hear they caught that many fish there today.
Sounded pretty good.
Sounded pretty good. Sure did, without a doubt. And but they did announce there on the news this past week, and like I said, you saw in the paper that they, due to the rainfall and this spring, I guess they may not get Norris full. What does that do to you guys? You have
It ain't hurt us right now.
Ain't hurt us right now.
It may as the weather keeps getting a little warmer.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you know, that could be. Yeah, they may hold that thing a little longer and let the water temperature get on a little. They may get a little deeper this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that could be a factor. Sure could, because but they usually don't start drawing Norris down when it's at full pull till what, like Memorial Day or Labor Day?
I believe it is September.
Yeah. So that could be a factor. You know, we don't know. You know. Well, it might get a little lower this winter, and I hope it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might get down. Since it's already 10 foot, it might get a little 10 foot lower than it was this past winter, and if it does that, I'll be tickled, for sure. I'm glad Dave called in about that report. Folks, there is a Heartland tournament there at Ladd Landing this weekend. Saturday, let's see. Well, got one at Douglas Dams on the 10th. Let's see. Watch Bar Dams on the 10th. Mike, you were supposed to have these things highlighted for me so I wouldn't have to look for them. Let's see. Catching bass on Milton Hill. Well, that sounds good. Milton Hill ought to be doing good right now. With Norris not running much, them holding it back. Milton Hill should be warming up, so maybe somebody will call in and give us a good report. Hello, caller. All right. There we go. Hello, caller.
Yeah, I was going to say, since they're not generating so much water out of Norris Dam, people that like to bank fish for trout below Norris Dam, now's the time to be going, because the biggies they're moving up to spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to wade or whatever, now's the time to do it.
Listen, what would be, if you were going tomorrow, what would be the best bait of choice?
Well,
would you fly rod, spinning rods? What?
I'm not a fly fisherman. I'm not on
fly. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Just throw a rooster tail, meth spinner, or heck, just a kernel of corn and a night crawler.
Okay.
And that'll catch anything. You just got to put it in the right place.
Right.
And also, I figured out what Mike Richard done with that 30 horsepower motor.
Okay, where did it wind up?
What he done, he stole that from that daggone kid's Coca-Cola bottle boat he built.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
He bribed that kid out of that 30 horsepower motor to trade it in on something else.
Okay. Hey, man.
And if you want to catch some crappie,
yeah,
like you say, now's the time to do it if you're going to do it off the bank. Because they are there.
All right. Undoubtedly, you've been catching.
Milton Hill is as good a place as any. And if you go to that pond across the Bull Run steam plant,
Yes, sir.
it's got plenty in it.
All right.
But don't tell nobody I told you.
No, sir. I won't sell a soul, I promise.
And I would give you another little tip on bass fishing.
Yeah.
But I told Mike, Uncle Mike,
Mm-hmm.
this already, but he didn't pass it on, and I'm afraid to say anything. But if you guys take and make you some flies, large flies, with just a single hook and no sinker.
Mm-hmm.
Use your, I like true turn hooks. And tie 2 of them or 3 of them together and take you a worm sinker
Yeah.
and turn it backwards on up. What you do, you put it up on your line and then try your swivel and then your flies.
Uh-huh.
And what you're doing, you're making a jerk bait under the water.
Okay.
And, it depends on how heavy or how deep you want to go with it.
Okay. All right, man, I appreciate that.
I'll tell you this, it'll wear them shad out down there crossing Bull Run.
Okay. All right, folks, you heard those good reports. And man's catching
I didn't
crappie.
say that.
I hear you. I understand. Hey, I appreciate you calling in. We'll get some more callers here and might get back with you.
All right.
Thank you, buddy. See you. Hello, caller.
This is that fellow you showing that clown rogue too down there at Edgemore Bait Shop.
Yes, sir, Mr. Galt.
Yeah, I caught a 7-pounder on Douglas last Friday, and I went to get the hook out of his mouth, and down there sticking out of his gullet was the tail of about a 9 or 10 inch crappie.
Huh. Well, it doesn't surprise me. They're going to eat anything they can catch, for sure. What'd you catch that big fish on? That jerk bait?
Motor oil Carolina rig.
Motor oil Carolina rig.
Old monster.
Old monster. Okay, man.
Hey, Mike said last time that show was on, he said every now and then they want a different color,
Right.
Well, they want that motor oil, son.
Uh-huh. Well, that sounds like a good plan to me. And how much did that fish weigh?
About 7 pounds.
About 7 pounds. Caught him on Douglas.
Yeah.
Buddy, that sounds good. I appreciate you calling in. Have you weighted your jerk bait down yet?
Well, I've tried to fool with it a couple of times, but they've been hitting that worm so good I haven't supposed to very much.
That's a true fisherman for you. You fool with that thing when it's time for it. Stay on the worm.
Yeah.
How deep was that bass you caught on Douglas?
4 or 5 foot.
4 or 5 foot. Okay, man. Sounds good. Hey, I appreciate you calling in.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, buddy. See you. All right. Hello, caller.
Hello, Steve.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Well, I'm sitting here upset.
I
The doggone my sound keeps going in and out
Mm-hmm.
on the whole show, and it's not Channel 12's fault. It's this doggone streaming on the computer,
Yeah.
and sometimes it does it, and I just got bits and pieces of the whole show, buddy.
Okay, buddy. All right.
I did hear TED from Powell call in.
Yes,
He
sir.
said my name, and then I went back off the air, so I don't know what he was even talking about.
Well, listen, Mike, it's better off you didn't know what he's talking about.
I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, hey, don't even worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he must be in his prime tonight.
Oh, yeah, he's ready. I'm telling you, something about stealing that 30-horse motor. I don't even want to, I'm going to forget everything he said.
Yeah, just forget everything he said. He keeps calling in over the years saying he's TED from Powell.
Uh-huh.
And I know that in Powell, they don't pick up Channel 12, and he never seemed like he was on his computer, so I don't know his story. Just don't know his story, and I'm not sure I want to know his story.
I hear you. I kind of feel the same way.
But I did hear you talking to Mike over there earlier in the show.
Uh-huh.
He said he was down in Wattsbar and didn't do any good Sunday. And doggone, these boats were coming by my dock Sunday, just killing them off my dock.
Well, Mike, where'd you
I
go?
don't know. I don't know about Mike now, Steve. I don't know now.
Yeah. He said it must have been them crappie fishermen.
Tell him he needs to come down here and sit in my little screen house and put that fishing pole between his two toes and just sit there in my screen house and just see what he can catch.
All right, I'll do that.
He can bring some light shad or something, catch some bass, maybe some gobble worms to catch everything else. So maybe that's what he needs to do. But anyway, like I say, buddy, I watched you tear down the reel, but I didn't get to hear a word you said tearing down the reel. So I figured it had something to do with the drag.
Yeah, it did.
I didn't catch a thing about it, so I didn't learn a thing tonight.
Well, I was just telling the key thing is back that star drag off whenever you're going to store your reel for 2 or 3 days.
That's the truth, if I ever heard it.
Yeah. But
I learned that the hard way over the years.
Yes, sir. Me too. Sure did. Sure did.
Good point. Good point.
Hey,
I'm sorry I missed you. Be sure to tell Jack Raines that I've got his memberships coming. So
I done did.
I've got this finally wrapped up. It took me forever just to get 10 addresses, but I finally got it. So I'll be sending them to him in the mail, so he'll have that.
All right, listen, while I got you on here right quick, your shirt is at the sign shop when you pick up your cab for your motor.
Well, that's all right. I appreciate that, pal.
Well, you're more than welcome. I appreciate it.
I'll get my cow back for the 30 horsepower and get me a Let's Go Fishing t-shirt.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. I can't beat that with a stick.
No.
Actually, I won't be able to pick it up, but I've got a student worker. I always keep a student worker down here over the years, and he'll pick it up for me. So he'll be jealous that he didn't have a t-shirt, but that's just the way it is. He needs to watch the show more often.
All right, Mike. Thank you, buddy.
All right, man. I appreciate you now.
See you, buddy.
See you, buddy.
All right. Okay. Oh, Mike's a good one. Daggone. Great guy. There's no doubt about it. Okay. All right. The main tournament is Fletcher's, the Medford Volunteer Fire Department. And then we get over here to, let's see. Like I said, there's several Heartlands this weekend, folks. The Dam, Douglas Dam, Watts Bar Dam, Candy Creek. It's May the 8th, just on. And Herschel's got how much? 2 minutes. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, May the 10th, we got the Volunteer Bass Trail, and we got the Tennessee Toad tournaments going on over on Loudon right now through the week. You can get on those things. I think they're on Tuesday night. Got the Monday nighter at Milton Hill, and I think a Thursday nighter. So things are full blast, and the team championship series presented by Bunch for Rain to be their next tournament's Watts Bar 621 at Rockwood. So, and then the Catfish guys, man, here we go. I got to tell about the Catfish guys. Let's see, their tournament May the 30th and 31st. That's a Tellico Dam. So you want to get in on that for sure. That's you check with those guys on that. Marty Carpenter. If you Catfish guys, make sure you get on that. Fletcher, anything you want to say right quick?
I would just appreciate everybody can come out and support us and help us.
Okay. All right, folks. You heard that. I'm gonna give Mike the camera again, see if he can go get some film. Mike, you might get you some crickets. If nothing else, get me some catching bluegill. Folks, God bless you. Hope to see you next week. And remember the sponsors, and let's go fishing.